What's up guys? So today I wanted to do a video about shoe rotation and building a shoe rotation, what you should be looking for in a shoe, basically in your shoe rotation. So a lot to talk about here. We're gonna get right into it, but just real quick, if you guys wouldn't mind, please hitting that subscribe button below. Also click that bell button, which will notify you of new content as soon as it drops. And if you like this video, at the end of it, you can hit that like button. It really helps the channel out and allows the video to reach a broader audience. So as you know, my background, I am just an average runner. I have had no background in running whatsoever. I was not a runner when I was in high school or at any particular time. This is about 3 years ago. I started running to lose weight, to get myself in better shape, and I feel like I've succeeded, and it's also given me a challenge to do things that I never thought I would ever be able or physically able to accomplish. So, and that's both physically and mentally. But getting into it, really what you need to do is when you start getting into running, you need to build a shoe rotation. And the first shoe is a one shoe rotation. That's right, one shoe. And you'd think, well, why would you want one shoe if it's a rotation? You want to rotate in between multiple shoes. Well, to some people, they can't afford multiple shoes, so you get one shoe that can do it all. So for me, that shoe, and this is, I'm not paid by any of these companies out here that I'm going to. These are just my shoes that I like to run in and I find very good at what they do. So this right here is your Daily Trainer offering. Now this one is the Puma Velocity Nitro, and basically the idea behind a Daily Trainer shoe is a shoe that is well versed at everything. And unfortunately what that means is it's going to sacrifice in some areas and in other areas. So for instance, if you're looking for that high stack max cushion shoe, you're going to sacrifice speed. But if you're looking for a speedy shoe, you're going to sacrifice some of the max cushion. And Daily Trainers usually fit right in that middle where it's a compromise between your speed shoes and your high cushion shoes. And that's a shoe that is like this Puma Velocity Nitro right here. It's got just enough cushioning underneath your foot to give you a lot of energy return, a lot of responsiveness, a lot of bounce. But it just gives you a lot of cushion underneath your feet. So you can pick up the pace in this shoe. You can get up to your, maybe your 7, maybe 8 out of 10 effort in this shoe. I definitely wouldn't say that this is a shoe that you would want to run your mile pace or your threshold efforts in, but you could definitely pick up the pace in a shoe like this. But it's also a shoe that if you want to take it out on a long run, a long, easy run, this is a shoe that can do that as well. You can slow it down and get into that, slower, easier pace that, is maybe your 4, maybe 5 effort when you're running down the road. So, and typically these shoes are built very robust. So they are a little bit on the heavier side, but they're supposed to be good at a lot of different things. Some of the characteristics on it is a medium to, I would say a medium stack height. Lots of cushioning underfoot, a nice comfortable upper. I wouldn't say it's going to be too breathable, but it's also not going to be too thick. A really nice lockdown, something that's, again, it's going to be comfortable for mile after mile. These shoes are built to take up about 60, 70, 80% of your running. So that's the purpose behind a Daily Trainer shoe. Also on the outsole of them, usually there's a lot of rubber with a lot of lugs, and that's because, again, you're eating up a lot of miles in these types of shoes. So some of these shoes are made to go on a couple of different terrains. So if you're running through grass or maybe a light trail, they're going to have some grip on those areas as well. So that is a characteristic of a Daily Trainer. This is your one shoe rotation. You just want to have a solid Daily Trainer. Some other shoes to think about other than this particular one, it would be shoes like the Nike Pegasus 38, which is probably the pinnacle of a Daily Trainer shoe, and also shoes like the Asics Nova Blast are also well. So usually price range is going to end up being somewhere between the $130 to maybe $140, $150 range on the high end, but that's pretty much around where you're going to spend on a daily trainer. Now, daily trainer going to a 2-shoe rotation. You're going to have your daily trainer. Again, it's going to eat up most of the miles. Most of the work you're going to do is in this shoe. After that, you're going to look for a speed run shoe. These are for the days where you're going to start doing your thresholds, I wouldn't even say tempo workout, because you can do that in a daily trainer. But your thresholds, maybe your mile pace efforts, your like mile repeats, your 400 repeats, 200 repeats, intervals, even, you know, just some other work out there that's going to work on your speed workout. And that would be a shoe like this, which is the Adidas SL20. This is the version 1, not the version 2. So, but something like this is going to have a kind of a low stack height. So it's going to be low to the ground. The midsole foam is not going to be that compressive, so it's not going to be the most comfortable underneath your foot, but it's going to be snappy. And that's what you want. You want something that's going to be snappy and quick and want to, you know, go fast in. It's also usually a pretty lightweight shoe, and that's exactly what this is. It's got a lightweight upper to it. It's not going to be the most plush and comfortable upper, but it's going to be breathable. It's going to be light, and again, snappy underfoot. And looking underneath it, some pretty basic rubber underneath the shoe. Some shoes don't have this much rubber on it when you're looking at a speed workout shoe. So this is a shoe that's just going to be snappy underfoot. It's just going to be bounce and pop off. But this is a shoe that you're only going to use for probably about 10% of your workout per week, 10 to 20% maybe. Again, thresholds, intervals, speed workouts, your repeats. This is a shoe that you're going to use. So not a shoe that if you're going for a distance run that you'd want to go and run in or even race in if you're going longer than, say, a 5K distance. This is a shoe that is going to be a 5K and under type of shoe. And it's also good if you're going to a track and running around a track. So that would be your 2-shoe rotation. This shoe is going to do pretty much everything else. Your long runs, I would say your easy days, your tempos, your things of that nature, and then this one is going to do your speed workouts. Going on to the 3rd shoe, if you're going into a 3-shoe rotation, you've got your daily trainer, you've got your speed workout shoe. The next shoe that you're going to want is your long run shoe. So your long run shoe is a shoe that is going to be comfortable for a long time. Now, it's not going to be your fastest shoe. It's not going to be a shoe that's built for speed. It's going to be a shoe that's going to be comfortable for longer distances. And that's where this shoe, the Asics Glide Ride, for me, comes into play. This is the Glide Ride version 1, not the version 2. But this is one of my favorite shoes to run in for long distances. These are going to be your distances that kind of go beyond what you're normally able to run in your daily trainer shoe. So say, for instance, if your daily trainer shoe is really only comfortable to about 4 or 5 miles, and then after that it kind of becomes uncomfortable, that's where a shoe like this comes into play, because this shoe is built more to be that long run shoe. It's going to have a higher stack height to it. The cushioning under the midsole might be a little bit softer. And obviously with that high stack height and softer cushioning, you're not going to have as much road feel. So it's going to kind of feel more easy on your knees, on your legs. So that way you can conserve as much energy and not have as many impacts for mile after mile after mile. And that's a shoe that's something that the Asics Glide Ride does really well. And other shoes, there's a ton of shoes in this category of running shoe. So just, there's so many out there, but something like this could run anywhere from about, I would say, $120 all the way up to about $180 if you're really wanting to spend a lot of money on, let's say, the Nike Zoom X Invincibles. But for me, Glide Ride, $150 shoe does plenty for that, and you can catch some of these shoes on sale as well. Other ones to think about too, Hoka Clifton, I think does a really fantastic job of being a good long run shoe. You could also throw in the Asics Gel Nimbus or Gel Nimbus Lights, and there's a couple other ones that I could probably name off the top of my head, but the Saucony Endorphin Shifts are another one. But yeah, this is one that I just love to run long runs in. So That would be your 3 shoe rotation, your daily trainer. It's going to eat up, again, most of the miles. Long run shoe, you're really only going to go for a long run 1 day out of the week. Okay, so I make mine on Sundays. So Sunday is my long run day, and I pick out a comfortable pair of shoes to go for a long run in. And these are not going to be fast. They're not going to be a shoe that you're going to blister times in, but they're going to get you the distance and comfort. That's the purpose of the shoe. So that is your 3 shoe rotation, your daily trainer, your speed workout shoe, and then your long run shoe. Going into a 4 shoe rotation, again, you got those 3 shoes, your long run, your daily trainer, and your speed shoe. Next is going to be your, I would say, a tempo shoe. Now a tempo shoe or tempo pace is going to be about a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10 effort. So it's going to be somewhere around your 10K rate. I would say 10K race, but you know, keep in mind everybody's pace is going to be different. So I go by effort. So I'm going to say that this is more of a 6 to a 7 out of 10 effort type of shoe. It's going to have a shoe that's going to be cushiony but somewhat responsive because you're having to hold this pace for a longer period of time. So for me, that shoe is the Saucony Endorphin Speed. This shoe has a nylon plate in it. Now some of these Tempo Day shoes are not going to be a plated shoe. Some of them might be a non-plated shoe, but either way, this shoe to me is an excellent Tempo Day trainer type of shoe, and this can cross over into a bunch of the other categories as well. And same with any of these other shoes, they can cross over into other categories as you get comfortable with them. But this shoe to me is a really good Tempo Day shoe. It's a shoe that if you're holding that aerobic threshold for, and I don't want to say threshold because it's not really what I mean, but if you're going to that aerobic exertion point for an extended period of time, this is a shoe that does an excellent job at it. It's lightweight, it's got a nylon plate in it, so it provides a little bit of snap, it's got a decent stack height to it, and the midsole is cushiony but also bouncy, gives you a lot of energy return as well. So it just kind of helps you through the run to maintain that, that speed and distance. So that would be your definitely your Tempo Day shoe, but again, this shoe can cross over into a bunch of different categories if you really wanted to, but to me this is just a really good Tempo Day shoe. Now moving on into the last and final one, which would be your 5th shoe. Some people go beyond this, some people have 6 or 7 shoes in their rotation, but to me really all you need is 5 shoes to continuously run in, and that is going to be your race day shoe. This is a shoe that is going to be your, if you're going out for your 10K, half marathon, full marathon type of running, this is the shoe that's going to take you that distance. So it's going to be plenty of cushioning, bounce, and energy return, usually pretty breathable. It's going to be lightweight, it's going to be comfortable underfoot, and it's got to be able to give you that comfort for either, you know, like I said, 10K or 13.1 miles or 26.2 miles. It's got to be able to take you the distance. And for me, right now, it's the Puma Deviate Nitro. Now this is not the Nitro Elite. This is just the regular Deviate Nitro, but it's got a good stack height underneath it. It's got a compressive midsole foam that is super cushiony underneath your foot to give you that comfort for those miles after miles, but it's also got a really lightweight upper, very thin, not too much going on. Like I said, very thin, kind of flexible upper, and like breathable, because again, if you're going to be racing in it, you want to also keep your feet cool. But it's also got a carbon fiber plate in the shoe, and as you can see, it's very rigid. So being able to have that carbon fiber plate to give you that pop, but also having that compressive midsole in there to absorb those impacts as you're running down the road for those extended period of time, and then also having the midsole give you a lot of energy return in order to help you during those 13.1 miles. So But that is a shoe that you're not really going to be training in too much. You might do a little bit of running here and there as kind of like a shakedown before a half marathon. So maybe you do a 10K race before a half marathon, or if you're running around your neighborhood, maybe a week or 2 weeks prior to your half marathon or full marathon, you might do a shakedown race around your neighborhood in your race shoe. So for me, this is the shoe that I would pick. But again, there's so many other ones out there. You've got the Nike Vaporfly, you've got the Nike Alphafly, you've got the Asics Metaspeed Sky, you've got the Saucony Endorphin Pro, you've got the Puma DV8 Nitro Elite, you've got the, I mean, the list just goes on and on and on when it comes to these super shoes. The New Balance, how can I forget? New Balance RC Elite 2. There's just so many that are out there on the market. So, and I can't just say that one is better than the other, but just, this is just for me, for the representation of this video, that this is the shoe that I like to use for my half marathon distances when I'm using it for racing. And again, some of these can cross over into other categories. For instance, if you wanted to, you could use the Saucony Endorphin Speed for your speed workouts. And you can use this, technically speaking, you could use it as a daily trainer, but I'm not a big fan of using plated shoes as a daily trainer. This shoe can kind of go multiple distances, or in all honesty, you could even use this as a race shoe as well, for your half marathon or even full marathon distances. It's not uncommon that people use the Saucony Endorphin Speed for their half marathon or even full marathon distances. So keep in mind that some of these can cross over into other categories as well. And for a lot of you, if you're not necessarily going into a race for a half marathon or a full marathon, you may not need a race shoe like this. Some of you may just be looking to complete the half marathon distance, and in that case, just go with your long run shoe. Just go with the shoe that's like this, the Asics Glide Ride. You don't need to have a race shoe if all you're trying to do is just complete it. If your goal is to just enter and complete a half marathon or a full marathon and you've never done it before, then just get a shoe that is going to help you complete it, and that would be your long run shoe going forward. So again, guys, kind of your different rotation of shoes going on, and you have to remember that each day you don't want to do back-to-back days of the same workout. You want to give your body time to recover, but you also want to give your body the ability to change it up every so often, because you don't want to become stagnant with your work. So you want to go like a easy day, then a speed run or an interval day, then do another easy day or a recovery run, and then maybe after that you do a tempo day, and then do another, you know, take a day off and work on other exercises, maybe some strength training, and then go into your long run. You know, make that last one or one day out of the week your long run day, 2 days on speed workouts, and then the rest of the days are just easy runs that you'll be doing in your daily trainers. So thank you guys again for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please click that like button. And again, if you could subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic. Really helps me out. And as always, guys, enjoy the run. See ya.